Good morning, everybody. Today is January 5th at 11:26 New York time. And today we're going to be giving an update on what is going on with Bitcoin, what happened over the holidays. It's been a little bit since I made an update video just because it was the holidays and there wasn't really too much that was going on. Previously, we were talking about how Bitcoin was stuck in this bear wedge, and we are still in the bear wedge, but we are coming up to this resistance. Over the start of the new year, we had this rally that happened. And right now we are, again, like I said, coming up to the resistance of this bear wedge. So we're coming up to a pivot point. Right here is where people could be entering because they are trying to break out of the wedge, or we fail and then we continue to break down and we break down through this bottom trend line. So either of these cases could very much happen. But right now the market is doing a bit of a rally, and we can see participation across the board picking up as well. One of the ways that we can see some of this participation is looking at the relative strength. So using the PCT, Precision Crypto Trading Screener, we're able to see the relative strength in relation to Bitcoin, and we can also see that we do have over 100 coins that are showing positive relative strength. What does that mean? It means, is the coin outperforming Bitcoin? That's basically what it means. In relative strength, in terms of the general market, it is the stock performing better than the S&P 500? So that is how that works. We can see Bitcoin, it is still in this bearish price action. So we did break above. And now one of the things that could be positive for Bitcoin right now is that it is, we see the 20-day and the 50-day, they converged. We could see the 20-day, which is the short term. So the red is the medium term, blue is short, and the long term is the 200-day, the white line. We could see that they are converging and it is starting to curl up. So the short-term trend could continue. And again, we'd want to see a break through this resistance. We'd want to see a break through the 200, and then we'd want to see the uptrend continue, that stage 2 uptrend continue. But right now, we are on a technical pattern. We are coming up to this we're coming up to the top of the resistance of this technical pattern. But the moving averages do look like they could be turning. The only thing that we didn't see so far in the stage 4 decline is the stock or the asset going down 50 to 80% below its prior highs. So there's that. Also looking at the market and seeing what the market is doing, because the market also affects Bitcoin, because if the market is weak, then risk on assets like Bitcoin will be weak. But based on the study that we did before on what typically happens between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 is that Bitcoin is the leading indicator for the downturns. So when it starts, when capital starts withdrawing from Bitcoin, that happens before the S&P, but it also starts to get more inflow before the S&P. But on this particular day, this was 21 November, we saw some late stage 2, early stage 3 signs with the 50-day being broken. Some other things that we can also see here is we were unable to make a noticeable break of the prior all-time high, and you can see that there was rejection. We cut below the 50-day. We had rallied back up, slightly broke above the prior all-time high, but then it got rejected down, and now we can see it tightening. We can see the 50-day and the 20-day, they're starting to flatten. Again, this is another pivot point for the S&P 500, the SPY, because if this flattens and then we start getting really choppy here and then we break down, that is not going to be good for Bitcoin as well. So Looking at some of the participation, we can see here, coins above the 200-day moving average, we're at 14. So 14% of the coins are above the 200-day. 200-day is, again, the long-term moving average. This is not good when it starts doing this. What we'd want to see is very quick spike up, and then it typically pulls back. It gets a little choppy, and then it does another spike up, and then it continues higher. But right now, this is a lot of bottoming action right here. Relative strength, like I said, is looking good. It's good to see that the relative strength is coming back for altcoins. We could see the fear and greed has shot up pretty significantly. We did this this bottoming over here at 11, reaching new all-time lows, and now we've done this little recovery, similar. Yeah, you can see here it did a pretty big recovery right there. Also looking at the top gainers, top losers, just looking at top 100, we can see not that great. Virtual 20%. So top 100 losers, but top 100 losers is also pretty moderate as well. If we look at the some of these smaller caps, we could see 58%, 44%, 29%, 26%. So the gains are outweighing the losses at the moment. So it's looking pretty good there. So really, we're at a decision point. We could see the market pull back when we reach this resistance. If it pulls back, gets tight again, maybe it makes another rally. We could see that. Or we just get a clear rejection, like we've been getting these rejections over here, and then it breaks down. As this trend line is moving up, this becomes an area of that investors are looking at to see if it breaks this wedge, and it just falls through the floor. We can see that there is a little bit of a floor here, right here. It's used this as this level of support. So if it breaks down through here, we could see it breaking through the floor and then continue its down. But what we'd want to see, if this is turning, is that it breaks through this resistance and it's able to come out and break out with volume. We wouldn't want to see weak volume on the breakout here. We'd want to see some strong volume. So this is what we're watching right now. Also, just looking at some of the, going through the screener. There's some coins that I did take note of that are pretty some couple trades that I did enter. We'll see how they work. This is White Whale. What I did like about White Whale is that had a really strong move, and this is off of the exchange, but really strong move. The pullback was relatively tight for how big the move was. This was, when it got listed here, it was like 1,000% tight pullback, but then it has this slingshot type recovery, gets really tight. So I took a very small position into it right around here. I think I entered right about there. And then River, this is another one that I took a position into. And I'm not taking these positions because they are in the they're in the top. You can see top gainer 24 hours here, White Whale there. Not the reason why I took it. The reason why I took it is because it falls underneath the setup that I like to enter, which is the power play. This is what I've been studying, where a move is able to make 100% move in a few days. So we could see 1,000% move, very tight pullback, and that's that's what I'm looking for is that tight pullback. And we could see that it had this really strong recovery. It came back in, and to me this looks like a powerful move that could continue to the upside. River, similar. And I'm also looking at, what's the overhead supply. So we can see there's not a lot of overhead supply for White Whale here. River, similar. This is a smaller market cap. It's like 87 million. This one I think is like 300 something. No clue what they do, just like the chart. So we'll see. I think I took a position in here, right around here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just looking at the charts, I'll just kind of go through them so you can see what I'm looking at. and why I put these just as notice, to take notice. And again, really just what I typically look for is 100% move in a shorter period of time, and I'm looking for the pullbacks on them. How are they looking? So we're seeing some good volume coming in. Pepe, pretty good. So again, looking for these types of moves, looking for the pullbacks, and looking for tightness within that pullback. So these are the ones that I took notice of. This one's really strange, the way that it's just kind of going up like that, but it is what it is. It's still going up, so. So yeah, that's about it. We'll keep monitoring. Happy holidays, or welcome back from the holidays. Time to get to work.